Millbury Historical Society. And thanks for letting us come and share with you tonight. I was on actually the original board of the Historical Society back in 1980, about 20 years ago. But anyhow, we have a new invigorated board, and we are putting together a whole series. Sally Grant Jocko is going to be putting together an education series, and members get special announcements, postcards, or invitations to events. So it's we do encourage you to become a member, and we just happen to have some membership forms here, so you can pick that up. But we also announce them in the newspaper. And as Dave said, we had this wonderful walk and roll with Casa, and we do expect that to become a National Historic District very soon, and that will be the 5th in the township, and I think this township has the most National Historic Districts of any in us. So that's great. So we just really, our mission is to raise awareness of the wonderful history here in the township and to seek to preserve it. One of the
We are indebted to the good memories of Maude, Cathers, and Nellie Carter, both of whom were school teachers here many years ago. Plus the memories of Sue Banner and my husband, Joan Fitting, who were students at the Monument Schoolhouse. So we are about to start. And Mrs. Cathers, the teacher, is getting ready for another day with her first, second, and third grade students. She checks the little coal stove to make sure she has enough coal and arranges her papers on her desk.
Children in for play. David, will you come in after that tree? see all of you this morning. I see you're out here ready on time this morning. And of course, Donald is going to be late because he helps his father deliver the milk. So he'll be here soon. So here he comes now. Good morning, Donald.
Good morning, Mrs. Cathers.
Good morning, children.
Good morning,
Mrs. Cathers.
Now we'll begin our day with a Bible reading, as usual. Today I've chosen to read from the Bible the book of Psalms, and I've chosen the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Now we'll bow our heads and fold our hands and recite the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and glory forever and ever. Amen. David, I think it's your turn to salute the flag. You come up front. I think before we start this morning, I'll give out the chore assignments for the week. And we'll start with, we'll start with Elaine. Elaine, it'll be your responsibility to empty the pencil sharpener.
Yes, Mrs. Cathers.
And Karen, you will take care to water the plants, the house plants. Okay? And we have Sally. Yes. You will be taking care of the washing the blackboards and cleaning the erasers. Yes. And we have Donald. We will ask you this week, this is your responsibility, to get the water, keep the water from next door, keep the water, fresh water for the drinking water. And Donald, or David, David, yes. You will be carrying up the coal from the stove and taking out the ashes.
Every day?
Oh, I'm sorry, thank you. And Sue, this is your week to sweep the floor, and you'll take care of that before you leave.
Yes, Mrs. Cathers.
And each of you, of course, course, will be responsible for the area around your desk. And the dustpan and the brush is over here in the corner. Okay? Yes. Now, I think it's time that we get to work. So the second graders can take their copybook. Okay? Now you're going to practice the penmanship that we worked on this week. Then we'll take the third graders. And you're going to review the 5 times table. And because be very carefully about remembering all those facts, because I'm going to quiz you on it later. Okay? Now we have the second graders. Sally? Yes. And Donald? Okay. And you will be working on those two, won't you? Right? And the third graders, we'll pick third graders. They're going to review the 5 times table. And then we will have a little quiz on that later. And I'll check on them right, okay? Now the first graders, I'd like to read to you a story about the lion and the mouse while the others are busy with their work, okay? Okay. And maybe I'll get a chair. Thank you. Okay, can read it. Okay, now this is a story about a lion and a mouse, and it's a fable. And a fable teaches you a lesson. And so, I'll read it for you. A lion lay asleep in the forest, his great head resting on his paws, and a timid little mouse came upon him unexpectedly, and in her fright and haste to get away from the lion, she ran across his nose and roused from his nap. The lion laid his great paw angrily on the little timid creature to kill her. "Spare me," begged the poor little mouse. "Please let me go, and someday I will repay you." The lion was very much amused to think that a mouse could ever help him, but he was generous, and he spared the little mouse and let her go. So, soon after that, the little mouse was walking in the woods, and the lion was stalking his prey and got caught in the coils of a hunter's net. Unable to free himself, he filled the forest with his angry roaring. The mouse knew the voice and quickly found the lion struggling in the net. Running to one of the great ropes that bound him, he gnawed and gnawed until the rope parted and the lion was free. "You laughed when I said I would repay you," said the mouse. Now you know that a mouse can help a lion. Now, what do you think about that? Tell me.
I think it says that you shouldn't be afraid of lions.
Well, you know, he was afraid of the lion. He was afraid of the lion. What do you think?
I think if you're kind to somebody, maybe they will help you someday.
I think that's correct, because kindness is never wasted. And when you're kind to somebody, you always get a reward. And I think the lion made a good decision when he saved the little creature's life, right? Okay, so someday when you have a chance to repay somebody or be kind to somebody, think of that. Okay. Okay, now I would like you girls to think about the coming holiday, Thanksgiving. And I have a sheet of paper and crayons, and I thought you would like to make a picture for Thanksgiving. You might think of all the blessings we have and make a picture, all right? I'll give you a sheet of paper. Now maybe you could take a choice, okay?
Mrs. Cathers, can I get a drink of water? I'm thirsty.
Surely you can. Sure you can. You're a strong girl. And I just brought a bucket of water fresh this morning from the pump next door. And but if you're asking permission, you'll have to rephrase the question.
Oh, I forgot.
Mrs. Cathers, may I please have a glass of water?
You may, Elaine. You may have to help the teacher. Okay? Okay, you can share this. Okay? Now, I wonder how we're doing in Pennachuck.
Miss Cathers, you did this all wrong, and I have to correct you. He's going that way, and I'm trying to cover it up, so I made him do it right.
Well, that was good.
Keys are mine.
No, that's not right. God does it all wrong.
You did it wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, we'll start this way. Let me check yours first.
Oh, well, these are mine. See how they perfect, how nice and straight mine.
Well, they look you're very good and correct, and you did a good job.
Okay?
But we'll help David.
Yes, we
I will
will.
help Donald.
Yes, we
You
will.
know,
But when you turn it this way, you're all backwards.
Don't look upside down, look right side up.
He does it.
well, you did a good job.
I will help.
So I'm going to, right, that's
Thank
good to be helped and share.
Good.
But Donald, one thing we're going to remember, he tried very hard. And we're going to remember how the right way is making the big E to the right.
Oh.
So you can remember that. The big E, the right way is to the right. Now that will help exactly, right?
That's a good hint.
Okay? Now you keep on practicing because practice makes perfect.
And
Sally's been practicing a long time. So Donald's been busy all the time having his father. It takes a long time, right? So now, good. So now we'll have Donald remember when he makes the F. This will face the same way to the right. Okay? So I'll let you work on that.
I thank you.
Okay?
I will let you know.
Thank you. It's always good to report the thing because I can decide which is the right way.
That's
Right. Thank you. Okay. Now we're going back to the next group. Let's see, what are we doing here? Checking on the tables, right? Right. Okay. And who wants to go first?
I will, Mrs.
Okay,
Cathers.
Sue. Let's have Sue recite 5 times table. See how well she can do it.
5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 6 is 30. 5
5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 9 is 45. And 5 times 10 is 50.
Okay, David, now your turn.
Mrs. Cathers, I really have to go to the bathroom now.
Now, okay, you may leave. You may leave and put on your coat because it's chilly today.
Yes, Miss
And don't
Cathers.
forget, when you come back, wash your hands at the pump.
Yes, Mrs. Cathers.
Thank you. I say you.
Mrs. Cathers, I had to help my father rake leaves yesterday, and I had to help him do some other chores, and I didn't have much time to study. So, 5 times, wait, 1 time, was it 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10.
Right.
5 times 3 is 15.
Right.
5 times 4, I'm not sure whether it's 20 or 25.
Well, this is the way you can remember. 5 times 3 is 15, then you add 5 onto the 15.
Oh, then 20.
Right,
Oh,
right.
okay.
That's okay, you need some more practice, so I'll let you try you later.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. All right? Now, everybody has something to do, right?
Yeah.
How's the picture coming?
Hello, honey.
Good. Oh, that looks like a very lot of foliage, doesn't it? A lot of foliage. Yeah, right. Okay, go on.
Mrs. Cathers. Mrs. Cathers.
Yes, David, I'm coming.
No, I just wanted to tell you that yesterday I had a birthday.
Okay, birthday.
Yes, and my father bought me this new shirt.
Oh, I think that's beautiful.
Happy birthday, Dave.
I think we should sing happy birthday.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
Happy birthday to you.
Everybody.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear David. Happy birthday to you. How old are you, Dave?
6.
I think that's wonderful. Did you have a birthday cake, David?
No, we didn't have a birthday.
No
We're going to have
birthday
one tonight.
Have one tonight. Good.
With
What
ice cream.
time?
What kind?
A yellow cake with chocolate icing and vanilla ice cream.
Oh, I think that's wonderful.
Can we all come?
Yeah.
I was wondering what's happening here to our little girl. Is she coming?
She didn't come back.
Can I go see if she's okay? Oh.
Good thing you wore your coat. It's chilly, isn't it?
And the first hole is there.
Oh, well, that's good. Let me see, you checked on television.
I write you over and you're still, yes, it's doing much better. Look at this, that's an improvement. That's right. I did that. And we did it all right. We did all our things. Yes, we did. We have something else to do? This day is really long.
Getting time for recess, Mrs. Cathers?
Almost time for recess. I wanted to say something. I wanted to check on David again. I wanted to know how he's making check and see?
Yeah, it's doing okay.
Okay. Now, what's going to happen now is the fact that recess is very close. And so I think we'll just put our things away till recess time. It's nice outside, and I think we'll go out and play a game of ball.
Good.
One-room school in Salisbury is off to a great start. The students may not have all the modern equipment that our children have in their schools today, but they are learning reading, writing, arithmetic, as well as respect for their country, their God, and their teacher. Thank you.
I have to say that we, with our one or two lines, all had our script. Maude did not.
Maude will answer any questions any of you might have on what these schools
Maude,
how many questions? Feel free.
how many students would be in the school at one, from, one school term?
How many students would have been in a one-room schoolhouse?
40.
When I never taught a one-room school. I taught a two-room school of one grade, but I had about 30 children in fourth grade. Because at Carversville in 1922 I started teaching. And you can do the math on that. 5 times more.
5 times more, so.
It was divided into 2 classrooms. And ordinarily, my grandmother had many, many children in her classroom. I'm not sure how many, but there would be a good many. I attended a classroom, but I'm never sure. I was very young at Brownsburg. Medfield Township was my first school that I attended, and the first 8 grades, there must have been, I would guess, about 40. But sometimes it's easier, in my mind, to teach many grades than it would be 40 at one grade level might be a little hazardous.
And how many grades would be represented, let's say, in a one-room school? Would it just be these primary grades, or
How many, what grades, 1 through 4?
I had 1 through 4, and then in 1922, I had first 4 grades. And it seemed that I didn't get the assignment with that many children, but there was an orphanage that developed in Carversville. We called it a Christian orphanage. And many of those children were in my room, and I had about 30 children. But there were 4 grades. And I only had 5 children in the first grade. And one of my first grade children that I had in 1922 is in Heritage Showers in Doylestown. She is 84.
Oh.
How old were you when you started teaching? Well, I started teaching at high school when I was 18 because it was after the First World War and teachers were scarce, and especially for the country school. Well, the town girls didn't want to go because you had to be your own janitor. There was no indoor plumbing. And there was, as you know, there was no plumbing, and no central heating, no electricity, and you had to be very resourceful. I was just thinking of, I call this girl once in a while, my first grade, that was in my first grade, the 5 that were in there. She's the only one living. And she said, do you remember when she had about 2 miles to walk to school, and Father usually brought her. But this time it wasn't. It was snowing and cold, and she was crying. I didn't remember. She told me that. She said, do you remember you made me take off my shoes and stockings and put my feet in cold water? And at 18, I don't know why I did it, but I think it was the proper way. And I said, well, how are your feet today now that you're 84 years old? She said, fine. So young for that, because after all, I'm only 3 years from 100. And so it seems that I can remember a lot of things that went on in school and forget a lot. I have a student that calls me periodically. He's 74. And he remembers a lot of things about me that I don't remember. I think I was a very firm teacher. One of the men one time told me that he didn't know what I was doing, but he thought I ran a tight ship. So David, I took no nonsense.
She came out and handled you there.
After all, you came out of the tree. So it has changed a good many, over the years, it's changed a good many times. I've been in the classroom ever since I started school, it seems, but except in 2 maternal leaves that I didn't get paid for. But I think it's wonderful. My grandson, I think, is enjoying teaching, and his wife too. So it's a good career. And I feel honored having come back to Salisbury Township to talk to you people, because the people in Salisbury Township, after all, they were very supportive because they entrusted their children to me. And I think I'll always be indebted. And then, of course, the jointure, I saw a lot of building going on. The little one-room schools, there were many one-room schools that were open at that time. Stony Hill, Highland, Center Ridge, Green Hill, Chestnut Road, they were all operating, as Don's mother taught with me. And so the change is very real. But children are basically the same. You know, the times have changed, the environment, a lot of things.
A few things. I'm just going to say two things about the Salisbury School that might interest the people here. One is that the water that was fetched from the well next door was for heating the well. And the other is the grammar school, which was grades 5, 6, 7, and 8, is just up 263 towards Stockton. About 4 houses, something like that on the left. The same side of the elementary school.
Well, in the high school, somebody
No, high school was here. High school. They were wondering where the high school was.
What's that?
They were wondering where the high school was at that time.
Where was the high school at?
Oh, the high school was near Preston. You know where you got the water supply? They were the last building in that little area of 263, the little stone school, and then there are 3 houses, right?
Yeah.
3 houses, and then the 2-story building was the high school, but it only had 3 grades, 9, 10, 11, 3-year high school. And most of the students, when they graduated from the 3-year high school, were it was necessary if you wanted to teach or get a different kind of job, you had to graduate from a high school that had 4 grades. And so some of the students from Salisbury Township went to Naperville and some went to Doylestown. But the township paid the tuition for that year.
is that what you went?
That's the reason I could go to Westchester, because I went from Salisbury and we went to get my last year at Doylestown.
How did you get there?
Was there transportation, or did you have to?
How did you get to the 12th grade?
I mean, for transportation?
Yes.
Well, I had to work my way through school because my parents weren't able to send me to any normal school, and that was the thing to do. To get a normal school, you would get your accreditation in 2 years. But I had to go to school every summer, and And then the people who did that, there were many people who did what I did, graduated at high school and go right into teaching at 18. And then you would get so many credits each summer till you got a temporary certificate. And then you would still teach 2 more years for a permanent certificate. So I did that. And, but I had no transportation. I usually walked. And then my father had bought me a little unbranded Bronco that I used to drive. And I did that 1 year at school when I lived at Solbury. In fact, I lived where the Shorts lived, Betty Short. And I walked from Cartersville to home, and I parked it one time because somebody said, how long does it take? And so I found it was 3.1 miles. So I never did any jogging. I just walked back and forth to school in all kinds of weather. And then I rode my horse one time for 1 year. And in transportation, you didn't mind walking places if you didn't have a
Where'd you keep the
car.
horse? Where'd you keep the horse?
Well, at the corner of, if you know where the 2-room school is,
Yeah.
there was a family by the name of Shoup, S-A-U-P-E, and she allowed me to keep my horse there. And the girl who taught with me had a horse, and so we both kept our horses there. Merle Fitchner, I don't think you remember that name. You know, Malcolm Crooks was in my first grade for a while. For a while.
2 years.
Doesn't make him any older.
I would like to add something to what Maude has been saying here today. In 1920, I was 6 years old, so I qualified for first grade. And the building was a little stone house there in the corner in Solbury. Well, I got there. Frances Walton Ely was my teacher. She was strict. She tested me on certain things, and my sister always wanted to be a school teacher. So at home, before I went to school to be in first grade, I had physiology, I had history, I had geography, I got cracks across my knuckles, I had arithmetic, and I knew everything when I went to first grade. So she put me in second grade. But I couldn't transfer the printed material from a printed textbook to cursive writing. That was one thing I could not do. Well, the year went on, nice weather came, and the front door was open this particular day. And of course, we all faced the blackboard with the teacher's desk that was up on a platform. Well, this day, an automobile went by, and I turned around to look at it. So Miss Walton said to me, well, Maude, if you're so interested in what's going on outside, you can stand and face the door the rest of the day. And I even had to eat my lunch standing there, and I was 6 years old. Imagine doing that today. But those are memories you never forget. I think we learned a lot in those days.
Did another car go by?
I really do. But I used to substitute for Maude occasionally when I got through school and whatnot, but she was well loved by everybody at Solbury School. It's nice that
You were well
had to
loved.
say no.
You were well loved. Mrs. Cathers couldn't hear what she said, so I told her everything, but I said to her, would you have made her stand, your kids stand there? And she said, no, I would have handled it right away.
They knew what I meant, the boys especially. So they came to terms. I always thought they needed a loving or a spanking, and they could take a choice. But today, you don't do it that way. Right, Glenn?
That's right.
Glenn has to find another way. No spanking. I I said I had a strong hand, I milked cows on the farm. And then later I went bowling and my hand was strong.